The other type of special right triangle that'll give us a shortcut is a 30, 60, 90 right triangle. We need to understand it's called 30, 60, 90 because those are the three angles, and there's three parts to it. Obviously you know who the hypotenuse is. He's the guy across from the 90. But see, these two legs, they're not the same length anymore. This is not isosceles. So you have a short leg and a long leg. Well, the short leg has to be across from the 30-degree angle because the smallest side in a triangle is always across from the smallest angle. And this 60 degrees is called the long leg because it's across from that and it's longer. It's a bigger angle. But remember, the longest side is still the hypotenuse. But these are the legs, so this is the short leg and the long leg. Well, here's the rules. The short leg is the key to the puzzle. You gotta know the short leg to really get going. If you know the short leg, to find the hypotenuse, you simply multiply by 2. So if this was 5, the hypotenuse is 10. If you have the short leg, which again is the key to the puzzle, to find the long leg, you take the short leg times radical 3 in that case. Then if you are given the hypotenuse, you'll have to go back and find the short leg first by dividing by 2. If you're given the long leg, you have to go back and find the short leg by dividing by radical 3. Holy cow, that's a lot of information. Easiest way to do it is to practice and dive in. So, as you can see, I've got a right triangle here. This angle is 60 degrees. That totally means this is 30 degrees since all three angles must add up to 180. And we are provided this guy right here, boom, which is across from 30. He's our short leg, so that is nice. We have the key to the puzzle. It does not matter what you find next. You can find the hypotenuse by multiplying the short leg times 2. So our hypotenuse is 20, and you can find the long leg by taking the short leg times radical 3, so 10 square roots of 3. It's just some facts of things that'll always happen with the 30, 60, 90. That one was super easy because they gave me the short leg first. In number 8, you can see that they have given me this 24, which is across from the 90, so that is the hypotenuse. I can't have that. I need the short leg first, so if given the hypotenuse to find the short leg, you got to go back and divide by 2. Well, that's a simple thing. 24 divided by 2 is 12, and remember, he's got to go across from 30 because that's where the short leg is. Now that you have the short leg, you can find the long leg by taking the short leg times radical 3. So it's just the thing. You got to memorize basically this chart right here. On number 9 here, see what they gave us. This is a 30, 60, 90, obviously. So they gave us the hypotenuse. I've got to go back and find the short leg first. So I'll take that and divide it by 2 because that's the rule. And this does not clean up at all. So we're going to leave this guy. I just kind of don't have room to write down here. But my short leg across from the 30 is 7 square roots of 3 times 2. Then to find the long leg, we'll take 7 square roots of 3 over 2, and we're going to multiply it times radical 3. And we'll make radical 3 a fraction, so I'm going to put this in another page to give us more room to write. So what we had was 7 square roots of 3 over 2 times radical 3. I made it a fraction. And you multiply, you take numerator times numerator. Well, this 7 gets multiplied by this 1, so that'll be there. And radical 3 times radical 3, it is radical 9, but that's a perfect square, so the square root of 9 is actually 3. So this numerator turns out to be 7 times 3, and the denominator turns out to be 2 times 1, so that is 21 halves is what that is. So going back to our picture, we just figured out that this is 21 halves. We'll just leave it, instead of calling it like 10.5, we'll leave it 21 halves. Obviously the multiple choice portion will tell you which one it's supposed to be, but still. And just a couple more to practice. Here's a 30 and a 90, so this has to be 60. They gave me the long leg first because he is across from the 60. So this is the long leg. To go back and find the short leg, I'm going to divide by radical 3. So 12 divided by radical 3. Well, can't have a radical in the denominator, so I'm going to rationalize it by multiplying by the number 1 in the form of the problem. The problem is radical 3, can't have him down there. So this is 12 square roots of 3 upstairs. Radical 3 times radical 3 is radical 9, which cleans up to be 3. And 12 over 3 still simplifies to be 4. So this is 4 square roots of 3 over 1, which is just plain old 4 square roots of 3. What a mess. The old radicals in the denominator. Then, since I have the short leg, to find the hypotenuse, I multiply by 2. 4 square roots of 3 times 2 is 8 square roots of 3. Just the number times the number, the radical had no one to play with. And finally here on our last guy, don't let this fool you. This is the hypotenuse because he's across from the 90. So this is 2 square root of 2. I need to go back and find the short leg first, which is across from 30, which is A. So I'll divide that by 2, and 2 square root of 2 divided by 2 is the square root of 2. Now that I have the short leg, I'll find the long leg by taking that times radical 3, and radical 2 times radical 3 is radical 6. So you'll see a few 30, 60, 90s on the ACT, most likely. There are shortcuts, so it's this chart right here. You might give it a study. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see about ACT Math Prep in the comments down below. And we'll see you in the next video.